Two, one.
Welcome to the Optimistic Dater Podcast, a podcast dedicated to all things dating. Today we're going to be talking about why we crave being in a relationship. I'm joined by the lovely Julia, and obviously I'm Sam. We haven't done this in a while, so we're a little rusty, so bear with us. But yeah, today, why do we crave being in a relationship?
All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to podcast. Okay, so we kind of want to break it down a little bit. And first talk about why we crave being in a relationship. List some of the reasons why we might crave being in a relationship. We might not necessarily need or want a relationship, but we feel like we need a relationship. So I'm going to start with, I feel like a lack of companionship is a big reason why we might crave being in a relationship.
Yeah, you've been single for a while, or haven't had any meaningful connection with somebody, and all of a sudden that itch in the back of your mind's like, I wish I had somebody.
Laying in bed alone,
Yeah,
watching a movie, crying over your popcorn, shoving your face full of chocolate. I've been there.
crying over popcorn and shoving. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of food for bed, but okay. Yeah, real sad boy hours. I get it. Yeah,
Which I feel like actually, is a benefit of not being in a relationship because you can't totally do that when you have a person that doesn't like it when you leave crumbs in the bed, which I've been there too. And then you can't eat your popcorn in bed and you can't eat your chocolate in bed because they don't necessarily like rolling over in the middle of the night and waking up and having chocolate smeared across their face.
is that something you like?
That is something that has happened to me before.
Oh, yeah, this is why I just don't eat in my bed.
Or, it's like on my leg and I'm like, wake up and I'm like,
You shit
is
yourself?
that chocolate?
I gotta change the sheets now.
What is this? Yep.
So what we're saying is having a partner will help you not shit yourself. Yes.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
make you wonder if you shit yourself.
Yeah. Babe, did you
Okay.
leave the chocolate there? Anyway.
Or, you just frighten your partner with thinking that you shit yourself
Yeah.
because you eat chocolate in the bed anyway, regardless of if they want you to or
You
not.
scuttle off to the bathroom like, oh, she shit herself again.
Okay.
Anyway,
So what's another one?
needing validation is one that comes to mind where you might be doing a lot of good things for yourself, but like no one's giving you those compliments, giving kind of feeding, not to stroke your ego, but no one's there saying, hey, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, when we're single, get into this place of like, I don't have anybody here telling me, like, good job, and then you kind of get sad because everybody needs, I think, a little bit of validation.
Yeah,
And it's nice to have that.
yeah, yeah. It's good to have somebody kind of rooting you on as well as like pushing you. Um,
Mhm.
having a partner that actually pushes you towards your goals or in life in general, not to like push you in a bad direction, but forces you to grow is
Encourages you to grow.
yeah. Yeah, I guess forces wouldn't be best word, but pushes you and encourages you to grow um, is something that obviously once you have it and then it's like taken away, uh, you're like, oh, I wish I had that again.
Yeah. Or like for a while, you feel like um, you can kind of cheer yourself on, but then after you've done it for a long time, then you're like, I feel like something's missing. Like,
Hmm.
but I did hear this thing, and this was actually a great thing that I heard on a podcast the other day, where they talked about when you feel like you need validation or you need like comfort, you kind of like go into this place of like, I don't know, like you kind of hug yourself and you kind of think to yourself of yourself, telling yourself, giving yourself that validation, like having like a mental image in your head of two yous, and one of you is telling the other you, you're doing a great job and giving yourself that validation in that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Um,
a different way to do it. Or your inner child giving you that validation.
I've heard the inner child one. I've also heard one um, not to bring it to uh, popular figure, but Joe Rogan has a quote of, "Look at yourself like you're watching a movie. What would the
Mm,
character in that movie be doing?"
yeah, that's good.
So that's always kind of stuck with me when like you're doing things that maybe you're unsure of or something like that. Like what would that character in that movie be doing? What would you want to see them do?
Yeah, or just like looking at it from an outside perspective as a whole and
Hmm.
being like, if was somebody else and I saw what I was doing, then would I be proud of me?
Yeah, yeah,
Just kind of like giving it a different perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
That leads
Mhm.
to kind of like, are you are you craving a relationship or are you just like lonely? Are you just lonely?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us suffer with loneliness, especially in a day and age where a lot of us communicate over the computer and the phone, and we don't actually hang out physically with people anymore since COVID happened. People got used to that
yeah.
way of communicating and hanging out with people. And there really is a difference between physically being with somebody and talking to somebody on the phone, or especially if you're somebody who's a physical touch person.
Yeah. Or even like you're texting somebody something and you know how you said it in your mind and that tone does not get across. But if you were with
Yeah.
that person, you're like, "Oh, I meant it this way." And you could tell those little subtleties and flexion of voice or the look you give them or something like that means something completely different.
Yeah. I definitely think loneliness can lead to craving a relationship, even if you're not ready for it or
Yeah.
really want it. You just feel like you need it because you're tired of being lonely.
Or if you're the single person in the friend group and everyone else is with relationships, you're like, "Oh, forever the fifth wheel."
I need somebody to be my somebody. I
Somebody.
don't care who it is, as long as there's somebody. I don't even like this person,
Hi,
but I need somebody.
hi, God, it's me again.
But I think one of, like that also leads us into a lack of fulfillment. And if you don't have a purpose or something that you're actively trying to get, like a place you're actively trying to get to, or something you're like a goal you're actively trying to achieve, sometimes that can lead to, oh, I need to be in a relationship to kind of fill this void that I have within myself.
Yeah. And the opposite of that is maybe you haven't hit those fulfilling things, so you think that relationship will help you hit those points.
Help push you.
Yeah. So you can't hit those milestones or whatever you're trying to get to by yourself. So maybe you're like, "Oh, I need a partner to help me get there." Where in actuality, you probably, not saying you don't have to, but actuality, you probably just need a little more discipline for yourself to do it. You can't put all that pressure onto your partner or whoever you're trying to impress.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes back to the self-validation thing too.
Hmm.
And like feeling like in order to achieve goals, you need somebody to tell you you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
You just need you. You just need you to know you're doing a good job. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Like a drill sergeant. Do it.
You got to be a little louder than that, but yeah, yeah.
Do it.
Go
Sorry for your ears.
check my ears for bleeding.
All right. So, how can we remedy these things so that we're not craving a relationship?
Oh, yeah. Dang. Thought we were gonna
What
go.
are
Yeah,
some things?
yeah.
Some things we can do.
I think honestly a big one is if you are in the world of like social media and stuff. Obviously, if you're watching this, you are um, taking time away from the screen and understanding its impact on your mental health.
Hmm.
Um, I know in the past couple of years, like Instagram and stuff has tried to take away like the like counter stuff, or they change the algorithm or whatever happens, where that validation in your back of your mind is all of a sudden kaput. You're like, shit, that's it's not doing what it used to. I didn't get the love I was getting prior to. So take making sure you're using your time wisely on those social media platforms to make sure we aren't draining ourselves.
Yeah, and just stepping away from the social media world and the technology world as a whole to kind of be out and about with actual real people
Hmm.
and forming some friendships with people, because you can have relationships that give you some of the things that you need that aren't necessarily a relationship
Yeah,
too.
a romantic involvement. Yeah.
Yeah, something that's not all consuming. And I mean, whether people want to admit it or not, relationships are stressful. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, friendships can be stressful too, but really they're not all consuming, or they shouldn't be,
Yeah.
to be a healthy friendship.
If it's a healthy friendship, it shouldn't be stressful. You should kind of maybe sometimes butt heads, but it shouldn't be stressed. Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, like you said, going out to public places, um, putting that energy into positive uses. So like working on those projects, working on those hobbies, um, going to see that concert you wanted to see, doing things that you want to do to fulfill your needs and wants.
Yeah, hobbies is a great thing. Oftentimes, like, I will find myself being like, oh, well, I feel lonely because I'm just sitting on my bed scrolling Instagram and
Hmm.
seeing what everybody else is doing, but I'm just here on my bed not doing crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've noticed that something that helps is getting into something like I like painting or reading
Yeah,
or video games.
for
I know
sure.
Samuel likes those, or, the gym.
Hey, let's not call out video games when we both play video games now. Hey
I
now.
said I said the video games was good.
Oh,
I said I. That's one of the ways that I
just how you said that.
cope.
We know Samuel likes those. Yeah.
I meant like you're agreeing with me right
Oh,
now. I'm agreeing for you
yeah. This
to
is
my
true.
statement.
This is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do like to sweat in video games and in the
We
gym.
like video games. And in the gym.
Yeah.
The gym is a good one because it's very like a great time to just clear your head.
It's cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a big part of that also is realizing that social media is a sliver of society. It is not all 7 point whatever 2 billion people doing that stuff. It is a microcosm of those people. So when you get kind of tied up on those things, remember that in the back of your mind, like, oh, this is like a sliver of people that are doing those things.
Yeah. And also too, like, I don't really do that much fun stuff, but I make sure I document when I do fun stuff so
Yeah,
that it looks like I'm doing fun stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. It's not an everyday thing that people are going out and doing fun things like that. I mean, some people are, but like, yeah,
People,
don't
yeah.
don't get jealous
Some people are.
of an Instagram page full of like plane flights and shit. And you're like, Jesus.
Yeah. I've actually gone on a lot of trips this year,
Hmm.
but still, like, I wouldn't say that I'm like this traveling, like, I
Influencer.
don't know. Yeah. And a lot of that too, I mean, like, for example, somebody could be traveling a lot for work.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, this is pretty, so I'm gonna take a picture of it and make it seem like I'm doing this for fun, but really I'm here for work and I'm stuck inside the building next to this pretty park that I took this picture in all day.
I'm doing this for hashtag self care, but really you're at work in some place that you don't want to be at.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I think another one would be like healing from past trauma and getting to a place where you're happy alone. Because I think that and we've talked about this before, I think that it's easy to crave another person to help you feel better about the things that you
Hmm.
haven't healed.
Yeah,
And a lot of people get this like thought in their head that, oh, I have this, and this wrong with me, and so can fix that about me.
yeah, yeah. I think that goes back to the fulfillment thing of, yeah, I'm lacking in these areas. She or he completes me in those areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Be whole within yourself before you go and find somebody else.
And also try the the notion of maybe you just got out of a relationship or something like that, and you try to find somebody immediately after to try to
Mm.
fill that void post relationship because you're missing, the intimacy and and talking to somebody daily, so you immediately try to jump back into something.
Yeah.
That's a trauma response. That's not a it's not a good thing. Don't do that.
Yeah. No, no, no.
No.
Absolutely fucking
Yep.
not.
Take your time. Realize. Take accountability for all the actions, whatever happened. Take your time to heal and look at yourself. Truly look at yourself in the mirror, and then get back out there.
Yeah. And I could definitely say that I'm guilty of that. I think especially after you've been in a relationship for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get out and you're like, I don't know who I am without this person.
Yep.
So I need to find somebody else who completes me.
Yeah. And then
But you
you fill a void instead of just taking that person and appreciating who they are
what
as a
they
person.
bring
Yeah.
and what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to complete yourself, young child. Okay.
It's just that Padawan there, but okay.
I was going to, but I
Missed,
didn't. That's funny. Okay.
Missed opportunity. Damn it.
Sorry, I'm just getting over being sick. Okay. The last one I have is to get a dog or a cat.
Yeah.
Yep. I think a lot of people do that.
I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They do that.
They do. They do that. Yes, do.
Do.
Do that. That. Ba 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 da ba. Okay. Yeah, I haven't personally done this, but I feel like
You have like 12
I
cats.
have 2 cats. No, now my sister has 3 cats. 2 of them live with her, and she shuttled one to my parents when she moved to a new apartment.
Mm.
But I know it's a thing. I just have never experienced said thing.
But you already have your little companions, so.
Well, true. And technically, I got them with an ex. So, and then I got stuck with them. So I don't know what that says about
How do
me.
you do that? How do you do, like, when you break up with somebody? I mean, I guess I've done this, but it was just like I automatically got the dog because he just didn't want to deal with it. But, like, how did you, when you broke up and you guys had bought this animal together, how did you kind of like, you get custody of the cat?
So for Oliver, it was kind of a no-brainer because he's my sister's brother's cat as well, same litter. So it was like, okay, me and my sister have brother cats. And then with Danger, she brought him home from the clinic, and he was very attached to her at the clinic. But once he got here, he immediately could not stay away from me. Like he was sleeping on me, like immediately had to find me in the apartment. Um, so when we did break up, I assumed Danger was going to go with her, and she said, "No, no, no, he loves you more." I was like, "What?" She's just point blank, like, "No, no, no, Danger's got to stay with you." She had Benji, her cat, so it was in my situation. It was just one of those where she realized that that cat attached
Or is
himself to
this
me.
like an easy situation?
Yeah, this was
Okay.
pretty easy.
That was kind of like my situation.
Yeah. So.
Though I did get my cat after a breakup, but it was just the timing of it because he was my sister's cat
Hmm.
and she was getting rid of him. And I was like, no freaking way. Are you getting rid of that cat? It's the only cat I've ever bonded with in my entire life. Give him to me.
Yeah. Yeah. My family's we've never gotten rid of animals. I mean, that's a whole different discussion, but I've never,
Or squirrel.
yeah. Well, I mean, uh, just in general, as a human being, I feel like that's a thing. Like if you want to keep those animals once you have them.
Yeah.
Basic human
For her
decency.
situation, it was she got pregnant and lived in a tiny apartment and
Yeah, that's fair.
it was kind of like a thing. But,
But they
you
went
know,
to a loving home instead of like on the fucking street.
yeah, and he knows me. Like
Yeah.
he loves me.
Yeah.
He loves me more than he loves my sister anyway. So he just always belonged with me is the matter
That's
of
yeah.
it. And I mean, I love my cat so much that my kids are like, "Is Sal going to be our new stepdad?" I'm like, "Well, that's weird." But like he loves me more than any other man has ever loved me. So
Is that sad or is that great? I can't tell.
Definitely sad.
Just a little sad. That's the we're gonna date this episode now, but that's the latest She-Hulk episode. There's a wedding episode, and she is marrying like a fucking Chihuahua dog, something or other.
Huh, interesting.
I was like, the fuck is going on here?
We do not condone bestiality on this podcast.
It's. I think it was like a joke. What I don't know. I lost track. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. Anyway.
All right, so I think overall it's just important to be in a place where if you're going to get into a relationship is a want. It's going to add value to your life. It is not something you need to feel whole or feel validated or feel feel fulfilled. That was a mouthful.
Mm-hmm.
It is a want, and it's going to be healthy and balanced and great for your life, and not something that is going to be just a mess because you both are just filling a void.
It's a want that should turn into a need, ideally, afterwards. Like once
Exactly.
you mesh with that person, it should be like, oh yes, I need this person in my life.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are. It's okay to crave a relationship, but make sure that we are craving that relationship for the right reasons, not just it's 2 a.m. on a Friday night and you had a couple beers and you're lonely.
Exactly. In that case, maybe a friends with benefits situation is a little better.
Ah,
I don't know if Sam agrees with me on that one.
ah.
Hey, I think a friends with benefits situation can be healthy, but I think that is a topic for another podcast that actually is a good topic, so we should write that down.
I think I have that written down. The pitfalls of friends with benefits and situationships.
The downfalls and the upfalls, the uprises.
The uprises. That's a different term. It's really just either sex or no sex.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you guys liked this episode, please, like the podcast, give us a rating. That would be wonderful. It'd help us out. And that is it for today. And we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.